Cosmic Sisters, and welcome to this pre-recorded session of the Cosmic Sisterhood. I hope you got on well with the session last week, which was about ghosts and other spooky phenomenon. Tonight, whenever you're watching this, we're going to be thinking about psychic phenomenon and coincidence, which again is one of those magical, miracle little things that I believe brings us to a spiritual path. So first of all, I think it's really important that we source our own experiences of psychic phenomenon and coincidence. What has happened to you? I mean, I could reel off a list of possibly quite minor things, whereby I have known something before it was going to happen, uncannily. My entire tarot work never fails to blow my mind with how coincidental or non-coincidental the cards are to people's lives. So I have that reflection all the time. But I guess there's other kind of more tangible psychic phenomenon that I have experienced, and I'm sure you have. So I'm thinking of examples. The first one that comes to mind was one that I feel really actually potentially saved me from a serious accident. And it was very simple. I remember one night before I had children, when I could do this kind of thing, was laying on my bed. I was not going to sleep. It was not bedtime, but I was just chilling out, relaxing. What do people do? Laying there, but not sleeping. I remember it was light. Maybe I was trying to meditate. I'm not sure. But basically, I kind of drifted off into a sleep of some kind very briefly. And I had an immediate dream. And the dream felt very, very visceral and real. And it was that I was in the car driving, and I was going into the back of a car in front of me at speed. And I woke up like that, like, oh, wow, that felt really real. You know, what the hell was that? Didn't think anything more of it. But then the next day driving to work, that, as you can imagine, that exact circumstance occurred. I was on a fast dual carriageway, and I went to overtake a bus. And I think somebody had pulled out into the fast lane in front of the bus. They weren't there before, but then they were there. And so I was going really quite speedily. And then they pulled out in front of me, sort of at a point where I couldn't see them pull out. And I think because of that dream, I just slammed my brakes on and didn't hit them. Which perhaps that dream was like a little bit of training. I wasn't thinking about that dream when I went around the bus. But I feel like that was a little bit of a heads up that had me perhaps maybe tightened, maybe ready, maybe, I don't know, I wasn't consciously thinking of the dream when it happened. I did afterwards, though. I was like, oh, wow, that was just exactly the same thing that happened last night. So that's an example of your everyday psychic phenomenon. Could be a coincidence. I don't really believe in them. I think that most synchronicities bring us into the bigger collective consciousness of what we all share, our ability to see forward in time, see backwards, I don't know, to understand things, to know things about people, places, things, to have feelings, to intuit. So let's go to you. What kind of examples do you have? Please do put it in the comments. You can put them in the comments in the Mighty Networks or just below the YouTube video. I'm actually hoping and planning to be using YouTube more and Mighty Networks a little bit less. We'll keep it there probably as a reference point for the time being. But there are plans afoot to kind of just rejig everything, streamline everything, and work in perhaps a slightly different way. So you might want to put the comment underneath the YouTube video, which is a private YouTube video that only Cosmic Sisters can access. So please don't share those links. You may also, I may need to send you the link actually to get you access to the whole of the Cosmic Sisterhood on YouTube, but I will do that in sweet time. You may not have that at this moment, but coming end of October, November, I'll be getting all of our content onto YouTube at a private space, and therefore it's there for you to access all the time. Okay, so psychic phenomenon and amazing coincidences. What has happened to you? Have you walked into a room and met somebody and just known something about them, that they're, I don't know, evil, make you feel, I don't really fully believe that people are evil, but maybe somebody makes you feel uncomfortable, maybe somebody makes you feel unsafe. Other people you just click with immediately, and you know that you'll be lifelong friends, or at least have like a meaningful interaction with them that perhaps changes your life in some way or another, and you know that upon meeting. So that would be an interesting synchronicity and coincidence. Has that happened to you? Let me know in the comments. Have you known you were going to get a job and you got it, or known you weren't going to? And same. So I remember with one of my first jobs, seeing it in the newspaper and literally just something clicked inside of me, and I was like, that's my job. That is what I'm going to be doing for however long. And it was a very, very long and slow process of interviews, and even after the interview, it was months. But I intuitively knew that job would be mine. So again, just it was for 18 years. It's a very sort of simplistic and day-to-day knowings and understandings. What other psychic phenomenon, maybe you think of something and then there it is everywhere, all over the place. Or you perhaps unintentionally manifest something. It could be all kinds of different things. You might think about how much you'd like chocolate, and 10 minutes later somebody offers you chocolate, or it comes through the post, or your partner brings you some. There's loads of different ways that we can experience these bizarre, funny, uncanny little happenings. And then there's bigger ones too. Like, I guess there's people who really understand something about their life, perhaps not fully consciously. I remember I always wanted to be a writer, but for a long time I wasn't one. But it was something that I always felt compelled to return to. So there was definitely some prodding and pushing going on there from the universe, which I guess you could consider a psychic phenomenon. And a coincidence, is there something about your life where you just know you needed to do something, or you know you needed to be in a certain place at a certain time, or you knew you needed to visit a country or a place? There's so many different ways that this can come about, and often I think the problem is that when these things happen, we don't fully acknowledge them, or we don't truly experience it. Like there might be somewhere in the back of our head where we think, oh yeah, I knew that, but then we don't take that thought any further. But if we were to take that thought further, what would we conclude? That we continually bump up against coincidences, or that maybe there are some strange patternings to our lives, that the unknown is making itself known in some really intriguing ways. Oh, did you hear my cat meow then? It was a very timely meow. So that's what I wanted you guys to think about. And if you connect with each other, because the Mighty Networks is becoming quite a filled space, which I won't, I will, like I said, we'll keep it there, but it's being difficult about what people are allowed to post. But you can post any comment beneath the YouTube and comment on each other's comments too, so we can stay connected there. And it is, like I say, a private YouTube space for just us, which I'm quite excited about. So psychic phenomenons and coincidences. What have you experienced? Where are your coincidences at? When have you thought of something and it's appeared? Or when have you dreamt of somebody and then banged into them 5 times in 1 week, having not seen them for 20 years? When have you thought of somebody and then they pop up on Facebook? And I know that the algorithms sometimes listen to us, but I'm pretty sure they haven't got in here yet. Did you hear that one? Bless her little heart. She's old now, and so I think a little deaf. So her meows are like epic. So there's so many different psychic phenomenon. A lot of it I feel comes through nature. You know, repeated signs, seeing things over and over again. It all is included with things as well, like your numbers, where you have repeat numbers, where you see the same animal all the time, where you overhear snippets of conversation that feel really meaningful to you, that perhaps answer a question that you have in your heart at any moment. Yeah, I mean, there is literally so many ways that this can play out. And I think this week it's just a really nice and refreshing thing to really contemplate how that has shown up in our lives. And as we contemplate it, we reinforce it, and hopefully it begins to happen a little bit more on purpose. So as you watch this, I'm away. I will be back next week, slightly jet lagged, I imagine. And then we will have our Halloween week. I will leave off creating the date for that until I get back and see how I feel. But I'm very much looking forward to seeing you all again. This is a slightly shorter video than last week's. I hope that's okay. I'm hoping that all the action will take place in the comments, where you share your experiences, no matter how big, no matter how small, how potentially silly. I think they all really matter, and in affirming them in the comments to the group, you are opening yourself to, firstly, acknowledging that you are capable of experiencing these things, and secondly, perhaps having more of them happen in a really magical and profound way. Okay, my ladies, thank you for being here. Looking forward to the Halloween sessions with you, and looking forward to moving the group slightly, streamlining it into this new YouTube space and direct emails and other things. I'm going to give myself this little break that I'm having to really think about how that's going to pan out. But in the meantime, have a lovely couple of weeks. Well, you're in the second week of me being away now, so thank you for your patience. And go have lots of amazing coincidences and psychic phenomenon. Bye.